Good morning and welcome to the little apartment on the prairie. Today I'm going to be making salsa. So I'm going to share with you my salsa recipe, which I will put down in the description so you don't have to try and write it down while I'm talking. But I'm just going to let you follow along while I make it. So I'm going to start out with 6 pounds of peeled and diced up tomatoes. And I did a video yesterday on the easy way to peel tomatoes, and I'll put that link down in the description. Now, because I peeled and diced up the tomatoes yesterday, where's a dish towel? This morning, I let them drain, because when they sit overnight, they get wet. Like water comes out of them, and if you put all that tomato juice in your salsa is going to be kind of watery. So I'm going to use 1 yellow onion, and I have some that was in the freezer frozen. Did you know you can freeze onion? If you dice it up, you can put it in a little baggie and keep it in the freezer for a long time until you're ready to use it. So I do that when I have like extra onions. So you use 1 white onion, 1 yellow onion, and 1 red onion. And I've made it before without having 3 different kinds of onions, but it really does give it good flavor if you go and get all 3 kinds of onions. This also has 2 banana peppers chopped up in it. This is my red onion. That's got banana peppers. It came out of my garden. The tomatoes did not come out of my garden. I've got tomatoes enough for like sandwiches or salads or stuff for me, but not enough to make salsa. All right, and then it has 3 green peppers in it. And now I'm using my big stock pot. It's getting pretty full. Okay. Then it has 18 ounces of tomato paste, which is 3 of the little cans of tomato paste. Or I get 1 of the little cans and 1 of the big cans because it comes out cheaper per ounce. Or at least it did this time. I always check because sometimes the prices change. But it was cheaper by the ounce this way. And speaking of tomato paste, tomato products, the prices are likely to go up because a lot of tomatoes are grown out in California. So if you use a lot of tomato products in your house, you might want to stock up. That counts. That includes things like salsa, tomato sauce, tomato paste, pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, ketchup, all that kind of stuff. So think about that when you're doing your shopping. So I'm going to put that in there. Okay. You see I got my jars over here to the side ready. It won't be ready to put them in the jars for a while, but there you go. All right. Then we're going to put in 1/2 cup of white vinegar. And sometimes I've used like 1/4 cup of white vinegar and 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, which I thought just gave it maybe a little bit more flavor, but I don't know. Today we're sticking right to the recipe. And this is making a mild salsa. A medium salsa. This is a medium salsa. I'll tell you how you change the recipe if you want to make it a mild salsa. So I'm going to put in 1/4 cup of white sugar and 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And it might seem weird to put sugar in salsa, but it cuts the acidity of the tomatoes a little bit, and it really does. This recipe just really tastes really good. 1/4 cup of that. Then we're going to do 1.5 tablespoons of salt, which sounds like a lot of salt, but I'm going to use the 1/2 tablespoon, so I'm going to use 3 of that. So 1.5 tablespoons of salt, which when you consider how much salsa this makes, it's not like you're eating a ton of salt, but you could cut that down a little bit if you're trying to watch your salt intake. And if you're like me, you're going to be eating this on some salty chips anyway. So, take that into consideration. All right. I have garlic powder. We're going to do 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. And I have to open this. This is a brand new bottle. Your spices really do go bad eventually, and I was checking my spices the other day, planning to make salsa. Man, this is hard to get off. And my garlic powder was like all clumped together and kind of nasty looking, so I decided it was time. Don't cut your finger off trying to open the garlic powder. But man, that lid was hard to get off. Okay. 2 tablespoons garlic powder. Good thing I checked. You could use an equivalent amount of fresh garlic. I'm not sure what the equivalent amount of fresh garlic is. You'd have to look that up, but you can find a little chart online that'll tell you. Instead of 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, use however much fresh garlic. Okay. And then we're going to do 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper, which I also have to open because I was out of cayenne pepper. I've got chili powder, but that's not exactly the same thing. They do not make these things easy to open up. I'm pretty sure you shouldn't need a knife to open your spices, but I don't know how else you're supposed to get those off there. Alright. 1 tablespoon of cayenne. And the last thing is 1½ teaspoons of ground cumin. And all you do if you want to make a mild salsa is cut these spices in half. Use half the garlic, half the cayenne, half the cumin. If you want to make it hot, I would add a chopped up jalapeno pepper and add a little bit more cayenne pepper. So that's all you have to do if you want to, if you don't want medium, if you want mild or you want hot. So now I'm going to turn this on and stir it up. I'm going to bring it to till it starts to bubble, and then I'm going to turn the temperature down and simmer it for a long time, about 3 hours, until everything the flavors all get mixed together. And you're going to want to stir it a few times while it's simmering, and then after that, you can put it in jars. You can can it if you want to, which is what I'm going to do, but you can just put it in jars and stick it in the fridge. That's it. You're just going to cook it a while. And that's my salsa recipe. The recipe will be down in the description. This recipe is also in the Little Apartment on the Prairie cookbook. The link to that will be down in the description too. Let me know what you guys put in your salsa in the comments. Everybody have a great day.